It's been 3 weeks since 6-year-old Isabella Kalua disappeared from her home in Waimanalo, and people have not given up hope of finding her. Police continue to investigate her disappearance, but some in the community are growing frustrated with the lack of developments in the case. A rally was held this morning in front of the Department of Human Services offices. Family members have questioned DHS's vetting of Isabella's adoptive family.
Everybody's mind answers why, So I guess to put pressure to, come, where is she? Bring her home.
I don't want to think that way, but with so much time having passed, it's hard to have the hope that she may still be able to come home alive. But we pray that's the case every day.
A spokesman for DHS says all adoptive parents go through a comprehensive background check. An attorney working with Isabella's adoptive family has told KHON2 that they are cooperating with the investigation. The disappearance of Isabella in Waimanalo is the latest unsolved missing child case in the islands. Others have ended in tragedy, and still others get little to no attention. And that's something many want to change. Gina Mangieri is always investigating.
When Isabella Kalua went to bed Sunday, September 12th in her Waimanalo home, it was the last time her adoptive family says she was seen, reported missing to police the next morning. It wasn't until 8:59 a.m., Monday, September 13th, that a press release went out to Honolulu media from Crime Stoppers. Not a Miley Amber alert due to constraints on using that mass blast system.
And I think what we've seen here is that it's rarely used. We've had so many major profile cases and it hasn't been used. And in this situation, I think that the current alert needs to be modified. When it comes to a child's life, I think we need to use every single tool at once.
It's very important to also note that in the absence of an Amber Alert, there's still going to be a very robust law enforcement response to a missing child. It doesn't mean that because there's not an activation that there isn't an aggressive response.
Efforts on the ground came up with a handful of clues, but no Isabella. The search was suspended the following week. There's been a change of command this past weekend at HPD's Criminal Investigation Division. Major Benjamin Moskowitz taking over while Major Stephen Girona, target of a harassment lawsuit and complaints, was reassigned to the Legislative Liaison Office. Among lawsuit allegations against Girona, he discouraged a Miley alert and early investigation when Kitana Ancog was not returned by her father. The child was murdered. The father charged with the crime. I asked HPD what impact the overhaul at CID is having on the Isabella investigation. HPD tells me the investigators are continuing to work on the Isabella case. The change in CID commanders does not impact the investigation. And they continue to work with other law enforcement partners, including the FBI.
The feds have an immense amount of power, and they've got a lot more capability than HPD does have in many different ways.
Whether it's Isabella now, Benny Raposa missing on Hawaii Island since 2019, or kids who met tragic ends like Kitana Ancog or Peter Boykema, those are just the high-profile missing child cases. Thousands of situations a year can be categorized as missing child incidents.
It can be life-threatening sometimes, and their chances of being victimized on the streets are very high.
Always Investigating asked the Missing Child Center of Hawaii about whether it has made progress on plans cited in a 2020 annual report to try to get law enforcement and the criminal justice system to improve their response not just to abduction, but also custodial cases and missing runaways. The local Missing Child Center turns to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for resources, training, and improvements in local tactics. Isabella's information is in the national database now, too. Among their other recent efforts, intensive federal training for local authorities.
We try to make sure that each unit that responds to these differing types of cases has the training that they need. Keep in mind that, these folks can get promoted out, there's turnover, and so it's a constant effort to, do refresher trainings.
Ensuring all types of missing child cases get immediate and thorough attention remains a challenge.
We are always in a state of trying to improve the response. Complacency is never an option, especially in responding to crimes against children.
If you have any information about Isabella Kulua, call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300 and log on to KHON2.com for links to missing child alerts about all other active Hawaii cases. Gina Mangieri, KHON2 News, always investigating.